गुड मर्निङ एन्ड नमस्ते। रोलिङ राइज एन्ड साइनको नयाँ एपिसोडमा यहाँहरूलाई स्वागत छ। म ज्ञानराज पन्थी एज अ प्रोग्राम होस्ट आज पनि एउटा नयाँ विषयवस्तुमा कुराकानी गर्न हजुरसामु उपस्थित भएको छु। एज यु नो, हाम्रो प्रोग्रामले विशेष गरी 6वटा क्षेत्रसँग सम्बन्धित टपिकमा चाहिँ कुराकानी र जानकारी दिने गर्छौँ र यी क्षेत्रसँग सम्बन्धित न्यू आइडियाज, ट्रेन्ड, इस्युज, च्यालेन्जेस, अपर्च्युनिटी जस्ता कुराहरू समेट्ने प्रयास गर्छौँ। आज हाम्रो स्टुडियोमा एकजना गेस्ट आइसक्नु भएको छ। उहाँको इन्ट्रोडक्सनतिर लागौँ। सो आज हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ मिस प्रनु सिंह। उहाँ स्ट्यान्डर्ड चार्टर्ड ब्याङ्कमा बिजनेस प्लानिङ म्यानेजर, रिलेसनसिप म्यानेजरका रूपमा कार्यरत भई हाल हेड अफ कर्पोरेट अफेयर्स, ब्रान्ड एन्ड मार्केटिङ मा आबद्ध हुनुहुन्छ र यो सँगसँगै उहाँ सर्टिफाइड कोच इन कर्पोरेट अफेयर्स एन्ड कम्युनिकेसन, ब्रान्ड एन्ड मार्केटिङ, डिजिटल मार्केटिङ, कर्पोरेट रिलेसनसिप म्यानेजमेन्टमा पनि प्रोफेसनली काम गरिसक्नु भएको छ। सो उहाँलाई यस प्रोग्राममा स्वागत गरौँ। Hello ma'am, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me in the show.
So basically हामी Rolling Rise in Science showमा चाहिँ we invite experts like you, professionals like you who been in a verticals for working for some time, so त्यो लेभलको एक्सपर्टिज लाई चाहिँ to share with our viewers as well. So आज चाहिँ हामी we've been in a HR भन्दा अलिकति डिफरेन्ट टपिकमा चाहिँ we are discussing, so which is branding and marketing perspective. So you've been as a certified coach and a professional in this brand and marketing. So if someone wants to know what brand and marketing is in a simple layman way ma बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ how you would explain it?
I'm glad you asked that question because branding and marketing भनेको concept has been there throughout थियो, तर त्यतिको उजागर थिएन हैन। I mean अहिले पनि छैन होला relatively speaking than maybe sales or अरु टेक्निकल जुन फिल्ड्सहरु हुन्छ। तर सिम्पली पुट ब्रान्डिङ र मार्केटिङ भनेको चाहिँ तपाईको जे पनि प्रोडक्ट या सर्भिस तपाई जे बेच्न खोजिरहनु भएको छ त्यो कस्टमरहरुमा त्यसको अवेयरनेस, त्यसको इम्प्रेसन्सहरु कस्तो छ, इमेज एउटा बिल्ड हुन्छ नि। सो अब सर्भिस त ट्यान्जिबल हुँदैन हैन, त्यो देखिदैन। अब कप हो हामीले गएर लगेर कप राम्रो छ हेर्नुस् भनेर भन्छौँ, तर इफ आई एम गिभिङ यु अ सर्भिस विच इज हुन्छ नि मोर इन्ट्यान्जिबल इन नेचर, त्यसलाई हामीले कसरी सेल गर्छौँ। दुईटै ब्रान्डिङ एन्ड मार्केटिङ प्रोडक्ट वाइज ट्यान्जिबलमा पनि हुन्छ र इन्ट्यान्जिबलमा पनि हुन्छ। प्रोबब्ली इन्ट्यान्जिबल सर्भिस सेक्टरमा अलिकति धेरै महत्त्व हुन्छ बिकज वी आर ट्राइङ टु सेल समथिङ द्याट पिपल क्यान नट फिल, सी, टच। दे क्यान फिल बट नट सी एन्ड टच। सो बेसिकली सामानहरूलाई या सर्भिसलाई कसरी हामी कस्टमरमा एउटा इमेज क्रिएट गर्छौँ, त्यसको त्यसलाई कसरी इभेन्चुअली मार्केट गर्छौँ। सो द्याट्स अल ब्रान्डिङ एन्ड मार्केटिङ इज अल अबाउट।
Alright, so thank you so much for that short briefing on the brand and marketing course. So I think is it true as well because कुनै पनि greater marketer helps to optimize and also care about the customer experience within that sticking with the brand and marketing of that organization. So so हजुरले यदि कुनै पनि मार्केटरलाई चाहिँ कसरी ब्रान्ड इम्प्रेसन क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ भनेर if you have to guide or make them knowledgeable on that, के गर्नुपर्छ for any particular organization, for example?
Okay, so the disclaimer is that I'm not like an ekdam super uber expert in marketing, but from whatever little experience that I have, customer client experience bhaneko aileko I think it is the point of distinction where a differentiation rather where you can म चाहिँ मेरो अरु पेयर्सहरु भन्दा म छुट्टै कसरी छु त हैन। प्रोडक्ट्सहरु सिमिलर हुन सक्छ, सर्भिसेस आर सिमिलर थ्रुआउट इन एन इन्डस्ट्री, but how you differentiate yourself, single point of differentiation could be customer client experience जुन हामीले भन्छ या customer experience भन्छ, CX basically. So त्यसको अहिले जुन र अहिलेको जुन यो परिप्रेक्ष्य छ, how things are improving digitally, टेक्नोलोजीले यति धेरै इनेबलमेन्ट ल्याइसक्यो, कस्टमरहरूलाई यति धेरै अवेयर गराइसक्यो that you don't have a choice but then to give excellent customer experience or client experience. That's the only way out. In fact, client experience or customer experience राम्रो भएपछि people don't mind spending a little extra. They don't mind buying things which they probably may not need because they are like so delighted with the experience that they have, personalized experience and so. So त्यो एउटा पार्ट भयो र ब्रान्डिङ र मार्केटिङलाई त्यसैमा जोड्दाखेरि त्यो कस्टमर एक्सपिरियन्सलाई कसरी हामीले डिलाइटफुल बनाउने त्यो रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी यतापट्टि ब्रान्डिङ र मार्केटिङको आउन जान्छ राइट सो इन द्याट वे दिज आर भेरी इन्टरकनेक्टेड एन्ड इन्टर रिलेटेड कन्सेप्ट्स सो ब्रान्डिङ र मार्केटिङले चाहिँ नि जुन प्रडक्ट र सर्भिस हामीले सेल गर्न खोजिरहेछौँ क्लाइन्ट्सहरूलाई त्यसको अवेरनेस र त्यो अवेरनेसलाई चाहिँ नि हाउ इट सिमलेसली फ्लोज इन्टु एन एक्सपिरियन्स अ वेल राउन्डेड एक्सपिरियन्स विथ द कस्टमर्स त्यसलाई त्यो कुरालाई एउटा हामी एउटा इन्टायर क्लाइन्ट जर्नी कसरी बनाउन सक्छौँ सो द्याट्स वाइ दिज आर अल भेरी भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट एन्ड सिग्निफिकेन्ट एस्पेक्ट्स अफ द इन्टायर क्लाइन्ट जर्नी द्याट राइट फ्रम द अनबोर्डिङ क्लाइन्ट गएर अवेर भएर ए यो प्रडक्ट रहेछ भनेर त्यो कस्टमरले गएर त्यो प्रडक्टलाई चिनेर सोच विचार गरेर वेन द एन्ड वेयर ही एक्चुली बाइज द्याट प्रडक्ट त्यो इन्टायर जर्नी इभन आफ्टर द्याट बाइङ द्याट प्रडक्ट द जर्नी डजन्ट एन्ड देयर उसको फिडब्याक्सहरू उसको कस्तो भइरहेछ त यु नो इट्स एन अन गोइङ प्रोसेस सो द इन्टायर त्यसरी नै हामी विभ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ एन्ड द्याट्स समथिङ आइम स्पिकिङ आउट अफ एक्सपिरियन्स सो इट मे नट बी लाइक अ you know expert advice
I think the laymanly if someone had to explain that in a way तपाईले भने जस्तै नै बुझ्ने हो र गर्ने पनि त्यही अनुसार नै हो so I think as you said about branding and it's a journey for the customer in a way from the very beginning till the time he or she become a loyal customer for any organization so are we in a phase like earlier I mean recently 5 years back हेर्ने हो भने we've been transformed from a paper-based branding देखि लिएर अहिले हामी digitally fully digital नै छौँ जस्तो लाग्छ so त्यो transformation आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ being you also being in a organization associated हुनुहुन्छ as a brand and marketing उसमा चाहिँ so त्यो सेक्टरमा हेर्दाखेरि अहिलेको ट्रान्सफर्मेसनले चाहिँ how impactful it's making and त्यो इम्प्रेसन जुन क्रिएट गर्न खोजिरहेको थियो पहिला हामीले अहिले त्यो इम्प्रेसन कतिको क्रिएट भएको छ because more if we see people are digitally अहिले जति टाइम पनि if they are spending they're on the digital platform at all time so are the organization getting full-fledged the benefits from that digital platform or not के छ तपाईको त्यसमा आफ्नो पर्सनल
that's a very good question actually so 5 years अगाडि पनि नजाउँ let's just say 2 years अगाडि प्री कोभिड भनौँ न हैन so प्री कोभिडमा मैले एज अ ब्रान्ड एन्ड मार्केटिङ प्रोफेसनल जति मैले भनौँ न त्यो बेलामा जुन मैले 5 इयर्सको स्ट्राटेजिक प्लान बनाएँ होला या 10 इयर्सको स्ट्राटेजिक प्लान बनाएँ होला आई वान्ट टु रिच so and so milestone within the next 5 years I was forced to do that in the next 1 year or even less than that so त्यो सम्मको and I'm sure it's the same with all other organizations same level मा जुन अपरेट गरिरहनु भएको छ हैन so there was no choice basically so you liked it you didn't like it you had to do it right so जुन यो digital so I really like this metaphor called the catapult so गुलेली हुन्छ नि त so you're like so taken back and then you are like thrusted into that environment an unknown environment outer space you're there you have to navigate your own ways you don't know what to do you're just like testing and learning and unlearning and redoing things as and when it happens so sabai marketers advertisement people everybody so all of a sudden billboards didn't make any sense all of a sudden printed papers didn't make any sense or magazines didn't make any sense so everybody is on social media so that's where we had to go into social media was a part of our marketing tool but it was not त्यति धेरै prominent थिएन पहिला pre covid but then पछि त obviously it was all about social media even our official communications हरु पनि धेरै we had to send through social media because nobody was working right official त को थियो हैन people were on social media they were keeping in touch with their loved ones with their families on social media and even with the organizations with the banks they were banking with everything was on social media so त्यसले गर्दाखेरि पनि yes there were benefits advantages पनि छ I wouldn't say after these 2 years we're like completely digital so भइसकेको छैन because people have that tendency to अलिकति relapse हुन्छ नि त्यो छ हैन which is not bad I mean त्यो सबैको एउटा combination हुनुपर्छ हैन it's not just एउटै कुरामा dependent भएर पनि what if something goes wrong with that when we are totally concentrated with one channel so a mix is always good but obviously the composition of the digital thing is significantly increased and for the right reasons because that's where the future is so त्यही हो completely digital नभइसके पछाडि पनि this is a tool that we use very very dominantly अनि पछि गएर त्यसको अरू एस्पेक्ट्सहरू जस्तै अब एसइओ भयो या एभ्रिथिङ हुन्छ नि त्यो पनि इभेन्चुली अब यो मार्केटमा इट्स भेरी भेरी न्यू तर मैले त्यही भने नि पिपल हेभ नो चोइस बट टु काइन्ड अफ अड्याप्ट टु द्याट द क्विकर द बेटर
Right, as you said, I think post-COVID, Pachita, I think we have seen a lot of people, a lot of organizations basically who jump into this platform as
Yes.
well. But now, when we are talking about this digital marketing or the digital branding, when it goes in a when the brand and the marketing thing is always there in your hand, jati customer aware हुँदै जान्छ, त्यति difficulties comes into the branding professional as well.
Yeah.
किनभने they started comparing with other brands, त्यो visibility एकदमै high हुँदै जान्छ.
Absolutely.
When it in the paper base, it was a little bit hard. त्यो comparison गर्ने platforms त्यस्तो हुन्थेन. Whether it has to be on the same page to compare, otherwise त्यो त्यति सजिलो थिएन. So now everyone has counter आउँछ हैन, counter offers आउन थाल्दै आउँछ. So how hard for you, like किनभने त्यति सजिलो पनि छैन डिजिटली भयो भन्दैमा it's not that easy to brand, and you just write the content and send it in the social media. It's not that simple as well. You have to think a lot of things. When you are establishing एउटा त्यो रुटबाट त्यो अब रुखै बनाइसकेपछि त we have to पानी दिएर त्यो रुखलाई त we have to keep it running नि त. So त्यो पार्टमा हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ how tough for you as a branding and marketing professional, हैन, अब you've been in from banking sector, so competition is alive, हैन, every banking is doing their part of thing to be as you said differentiate हुनलाई. So how difficult or कतिको गाह्रो अथवा सजिलो भइरहेछ, because on the side customer is also being aware and aware. अब यही त कति एउटै गरिरहेको कन्टेन्ट एउटै how much content you send in every day, हैन, गर्दाखेरि त that's also being a challenging part for a branding and उसको प्रोफेसनललाई चाहिँ. So how what guidance अथवा के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ यो ब्रान्डिङ प्रोफेसनलहरु चाहिँ, मार्केटिङ प्रोफेसनल चाहिँ, this is how you should take away हुन्छ नि, यसरी चाहिँ लानुपर्छ भन्ने केही आफ्नो पर्सनल छ कि अथवा whatever you have to say?
Yeah, I might sound a little bit theoretical and preach गरे जस्तो sound गर्छ होला, but I think number one, the competition that you have, obviously market मा त competition छ नै, but you need to first compete with yourself as an organization, and you need to be doing things for your clients which are right. When you're doing the right things, and when you're doing the right things भनेपछि right things for the customer, and when you're being transparent, when you're giving them the products and services that they need, when you're not mis-selling, त्यो आफैमा एउटा ब्रान्ड एन्ड मार्केटिङ स्ट्राटेजी हो. वान फर्स्ट इज द्याट्स लाइक बेसिक हुन्छ नि. कस्टमरलाई अब नचाहिने कुरा पनि तपाईँलाई यही चाहिन्छ लिनुहोस् कि लिनुहोस् भनेर, सो इट्स काइन्ड अफ अ मिस सेलिङ or ओभर सेलिङ, फोर सेलिङ हुन्छ नि. So when you're not doing that and when you're doing the right things, and I'm like kind of emphasizing on that. So first step is that, okay, and then त्यसपछि चाहिँ नि अब कस्टमरको जुन एउटा, I'm not even going into that digital space once, I was like I'm just starting from the basics, कि कस्टमरलाई त्यो कुरा चाहिन्छ कि चाहिँदैन, र चाहिने भइसकेपछि करेक्ट प्रडक्ट एन्ड सर्भिसेस र उसको निड्सहरूलाई हामीले म्याच गर्न सकेका छौँ कि छैन, द्याट्स अनदर. अनि त्यसपछि वान्स त्यो मान्छेले प्रडक्ट र सर्भिसेस अवेल गरिसके पछाडि उसको लङ टर्म उसलाई लोयल कस्टमरमा चेन्ज गर्ने, उसलाई एउटा रेफरल उसले पनि गएर आफ्नो साथीभाइहरूलाई भन्नुहोस् यस्तो कुरा गरोस्, होइन. सो त्यो एउटा ब्रान्ड एन्ड मार्केटिङको त्यो चेन एउटा छ, होइन. And then meanwhile, you're using different tools, like you're using a digital channels, you're using your email direct mailers, or you're using hoarding boards and everything. That comes along after that. Okay? So I'm resigning competition भन्दा पनि you have to get your basics right. As a marketer, you can't be branding and marketing everything for everyone. पहिला त आफ्नो क्लाइन्टको त्यो हामीले निश एउटा आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु सक्नु पर्यो. हो, FMCG कम्पनीजहरू, मास मार्केटिङहरू, for them it's very different. But for an organization, for example, like mine, we have an identified sector which is alikati curated sector नै हुन्छ के. And then we sort of focus all our efforts and all our investments into त्यो सेक्टरलाई नै हामीले कसरी हुन्छ नि प्रोटेक्ट गर्ने, कसरी त्यसलाई प्रवर्धन गर्ने त्यो सेक्टरको हुन्छ नि. So that for us is what brand and marketing is, and probably त्यो कुरा सबैलाई नै एप्लाई हुन्छ होला, because when you identify your customer segments, when you give them the right products and services that these segments want. When you build a value proposition that is absolutely suitable for that segment, त्यो भएपछि धेरै कुराहरू सजिलो भएर आउँछ हैन. Challenges छ, difficulties छ, you have to play in a uneven playing field at times हुन्छ नि, because I mean my organization is an international company and then I am in an industry which has local competitors. There are a lot of things which are not applicable for them and there are a lot of things which are applicable for me. त्यो बेलामा challengesहरू हुन्छ हैन. But again, it's how to maneuver it. त्यो यतापट्टि फेरि कतिपय advantagesहरू पनि के हुन्छ भने we have a guideline for things. For example, COVID-मा people didn't know how to start like day one मा कसरी start गर्ने, कसरी काम गर्ने भनेर. But for us, it was a little bit over the like अलिकति advantage के भयो भने because other countries who were already the COVID भइरहेको बेलामा we knew उनीहरूले के गरेछ हैन. So it may not be completely applicable for us, but at least त्यहाँको कुनै पोइन्ट्सहरू चाहिँ स्टार्टिङ पोइन्ट्स यसरी गर्नु पर्दो रहेछ है, कस्टमरहरूसँग यसरी अब हामी कुरा गरौँ भनेर त्यो खालीको गाइडेन्स चाहिँ इट वाज एडभान्टेजेस फर अस एट द्याट पोइन्ट इन टाइम. सो त्यही हो, इट्स अ भेरी के भने अ ब्यालेन्स, it's a very tricky balance actually operating an international company in Nepal, being a part of an international company in Nepal. It has its pros and cons. Challenges definitely छ, तर त्यही हो, to take out the best of whatever you get. I think that's where the value lies.
So I think as you said about your personalized customer behavior understanding गरेर when you understand yourself what I'm selling भन्ने कुरा थाहा भइसकेपछि, because what I see in the market is now you scroll the digital platform, you see the same content or different content within frequency नै छैन के, it comes around which one is best भन्ने कुरै आइडेन्टिफाई गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ, कस्टमरलाई पनि त्यो गाह्रो छ. So I think गर्दैमा अब push गर्नु भन्दैमा,
just because you have a Facebook platform and just because you have an Insta profile, official profile, doesn't mean कि अब हुन्छ नि clients, तपाईले नै भन्नुभयो कि clients are very smart अहिले हुन्छ नि, they will not take anything that's given to them. एकदमै they have the ability to pick things, अनि हुन्छ नि त्यो loyalty अलिकति कम छ, but it's like and probably for the right reasons, because they have so much of power in their hands, like literally power in their hands because of mobile phone नै हातमा छ हैन. So त्यो loyalty लाई encash गर्ने, त्यो loyalty लाई capture गर्नु पर्ने biggest challenge चाहिँ त्यही हो. Yeah.
All right, okay. म अलिकति HR मा पनि जम्प गर्न चाहे related with branding and marketing. So for the last 2-3 years post COVID, I have seen like few organizations, they started doing HR unit or HR personnel being also leading for branding and marketing unit, like when lead गर्ने देखिरहेको हुन्छ. So from your point of view, saying how any organization is related, organization is more need a partnership between HR, marketing and branding. त्यसको relation कसरी देखिराख्नु भएको छ? Is it a good thing to implement for any organization? I have seen people, when, as you said, from the customer side, definitely the brand, marketing, this sorts of. When it comes to the employee, core after employee, because until unless your employees are not brand awareness, they aware what they are going to sell in the market. So within the company also, you need to identify those people who suits for your brand. मेरो brand business सक्छ कि छैन भन्ने त्यो आइडेन्टिफिकेसन त HR बाटै स्टार्ट हुन्छ. So यो कम्बिनेसन चाहिँ, यो पार्टनरशिप चाहिँ कस्तो, कुन रूपमा हेरिराख्नु भएको छ, being as a certified professional coach भनौँ हजुर.
So so HR, branding, marketing भनेको, this is absolutely mutually inclusive departments are. Though at the outset it might look different हुन्छ नि, अब जस्तै HR is more like staff, internal कामहरु गर्छ, and brand and marketing is more like outdoor, like brand like कसरी promote गर्ने त्यो कुराहरु भयो. But at the heart of it, these are very, very interdependent, because more being heading the brand and marketing for my organization, I work very closely with my head of HR or the HR department as a whole. Again, Tabal Vanasa, to create that brand awareness among our staff. So we are 500 plus staff. र त्यो 500 जनाले if त्यही ब्रान्डको बोली जुन मैले कस्टमरलाई भनिरहेको छु उहाँहरूले बोल्न थाल्नु भयो भने त half of my work is done. Right? I don't even need brand ambassadors. I don't. So those 500 people will go out and then they will promote the brand in their own rights. उनीहरूको आफ्नो circle हुन्छ. So that is a very very crucial aspect of an organization के त्यो एचआर 5 जना जुन हुन्छ नि हाम्रो जुन स्टाफ छ अर तपाईको जुन ह्युमन रिसोर्सेस हुन्छ स्टाफहरु हुन्छ धेरै जसो त त्यो नेग्लेक्ट भइरहेको हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ मैले देखाएको छु हैन अर्गनाइजेसनमा बिकज you know, because of the legacy issues or how the organizations have been working since forever. तर अहिले अफ लेट चाहिँ नि लास्ट फ्यु इयर्स यस त्यो एचआरको जुन इम्पोर्टेन्स जुन स्टाफको इम्पोर्टेन्स छ त्यो एकदमै इट्स बिन भेरी भेरी एभिडेन्ट भन्छ नि र यसो अब त्यही इट्स आई लभ टु कल इट अ भर्चुअस सर्कल विच इज लाइक भनौँ न अब एचआरले आफ्नो स्टाफहरूलाई के अरे ब्रान्ड एम्बेसडर्सहरू बनायो भने अभियसली दे विल गो आउट एन्ड स्पिक इन द मार्केट अनि त्यो भएपछि अगेन तपाईँको प्रडक्ट्स एन्ड सर्भिसेसलाई प्रमोसन हुन्छ प्रडक्ट एन्ड सर्भिसेस प्रमोट भएपछि सेल्स बढ्छ सो इट्स बेसिकली इट्स अल इन्टरट्वाइन्ड एन्ड इट्स अ भेरी भेरी भर्चुअस सर्कल एन्ड इफ वी क्यान इनक्यास अन द्याट भर्चुअल सर्कल इनक्यास इन द सेन्स यु क्यान you know build upon that circle त्यो त्यहाँनिर गएर तपाईले त्यो ओभरल्याप गर्न सक्नुभयो भने एज ब्रान्डिङ मार्केटिङ एचआरलाई त्यो सिमलेस वर्क गर्न सक्नुभयो भने आई थिङ्क इट्स एन अनबिटेबल कम्बिनेसन
अलराइट सो अब हामी यही एचआरलाई र along with the marketing and also the branding so have we seen त्यो changes चाहिँ आउनलाई जसरी हजुरले नि भने you've been working with HR हैन तर now people started doing it from the HR self being in a त्यो के अरे branding and marketing as a personal name भएर चाहिँ उसले act गरिरहेछ हैन so त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ how you see in the Nepalese organization because now slowly we've been seeing कि हाम्रो organization they are started adapting gig economy workforce त्यसलाई स्टार्ट गरेछ र यसले आई थिङ्क इम्प्लोयर ब्रान्डमा पनि अलिकति इम्प्याक्टफुल बनाउँछ पनि होइन सो हाउ डु यु सी दिस गिग इकोनोमी कन्ट्रिब्युसन टु द होल अर्गनाइजेसन कन्ट्रिब्युसन विथ दिस 3 पिलर्स के विथ दिस मार्केटिङ ब्रान्डिङ एन्ड एचआर इन रिलेसन किनभने हामी हेऱ्यो भने अब यो अर्गनाइजेसन डुइङ द राइट थिङ आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड तर वेन इट गो इन अ मास धेरै अर्गनाइजेसन जाने हो भने किन मार्केटिङमा आउनु पर्यो किन ब्रान्डिङमा यो तपाईँ आफ्नो एचआर हेर्नुहोस् भन्ने आउँछ सो त्यो डिफ्रेन्सिएसन नहोस् होइन एउटै इन्क्लुसिभ वेमा काम गर्ने माहौल बनाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ के अथवा के गाइडेन्स के रिकमेन्डेसन गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ हजुरले आफ्नो तर्फबाट
Okay, so you spoke about two things. एउटा चाहिँ integration of HR, brand and marketing. अर्को gig economy भन्नुभयो होइन gig economy I'll come back in a bit. So my suggestion for HR for this intertwining of HR, branding and marketing is that this is inevitable. गरिसकेको छ भने absolutely you're on the right path. ल भएको छैन भने I think it's time to think. Because it's something that's unavoidable if at all you want to have brand ambassadors within your organizations, if at all you want to augment, you want to enhance your brand image internally as well as externally. I'll just give you a small example. Recently, my organization, we formed something called the digital influencers, which is within the bank. And these group of 20 odd people, they work internally, as the name goes, to influence people as in the staff itself, to enhance digital ways of doing things. Okay? So धेरै कुराहरु हुन्छ हाम्रो पनि धेरै फिचर्सहरु छ मोबाइलमा अथवा इन्टरनेटमा चाहिँ सबैलाई थाहा हुँदैन which is a fact हुन्छ नि not everybody is technologically savvy and all that र त्यो मान्छेहरुलाई गएर गरिरहेछौ कि छैन do you know these features are available within हुन्छ नि सो त्यो भइसकेपछि के हुन्छ भने इन्टरनली त्यो 20 जनाले 500 जनालाई सिकाएपछि 500 जनाले बाहिर गएर भन्छ सो इट्स अ भेरी नेचुरल प्रोसेस के so obviously and this digital influencer was a collaboration with HR of brand and marketing because this was something that is like overarching एउटा agenda भयो के because we start internally and how it flows externally भनेर so this and then we have a lot of other committees and so we are sponsors for Liverpool Football Club थाहा होला तपाईलाई हैन so त्यसको लागि हाम्रो छुट्टै कमिटी छ and these are within staffले नै हुन्छ नि कतिको engagement create गर्छ and that's more on the engagement part of it it's nothing to do with business at the face of it but it's more like engagement enhancement मान्छेहरुलाई लिभरपुल भनेपछि एक्साइटमेन्ट हुने फुटबल and all that and so we have like a internal fantasy league हरू भइरहन्छ so there are Toastmasters, we have an internal हाम्रो आफ्नै सानो चाडको Toastmasters club छ So these are a number of initiatives that, and then we have charity, employee volunteering champions भन्ने हुन्छ for the CSR activities हुन्छ नि. So these are all staff driven. हामीले form गरिदिने हो, and then they are like all त्यो हुन्छ नि autopilotमा, like they're all like staff driven. So त्यो भएपछि they're like advantage are numerous हुन्छ नि, उनीहरूको आफ्नो मोटिभेसनदेखि लिएर टिमवर्कदेखि लिएर, and obviously once you start doing that, it spills over externally पनि, कस्टमर्सहरूलाई पनि, क्लाइन्ट्सलाई, सोसाइटीलाई, कम्युनिटीलाई हुन्छ नि, लिभरपुल फ्यान्सहरूलाई. So it's not, once you start something, त्यो HR कन्सन्ट्रेसनमा मात्रै सीमित नभएर, it inevitably it overflows, it flows out of your organization. So यो HR, branding, marketing को जुन combination छ, it's quite a killer combination actually. So my request, or my humble suggestions would be for the organizations to actually start thinking towards that line. Yeah. And you spoke about gig economy in Nepalma. I think it's pretty much in a nascent stage, if I may say so. I'm not an expert, but from what I have seen, yes, the potential is tremendous. I think globally, 2023 the market size would be somewhere around $455 million, which is huge. Significance, so obviously your western side they're already going towards that, even India, Bangladesh for that matter. Nepal there are like, for example, your ride sharing or food delivery or those kinds of stuff, or even technology outsource, all that is there. तर यो एकदमै establish हुने र इकोनोमी नै ड्राइभ गर्न पर्ने चाहिँ अलिकति टाइम चाहिँ लाग्छ होला. Why? Because probably the regulations around it. So for example, if an international company comes into Nepal and then they want to hire these youngsters who would come and work for like 2 months or 3 months, हुन्छ नि, के छ त उनीहरूलाई रेगुलेसन्सहरू हुन्छ नि, त्यो we don't know, right, as of now. And I'm sure regulators are thinking about that, but as of now, चाहिँ अब उनीहरूको minimum wage कति, how do we make sure that people are not exploited? So त्यो कुरालाई अलिकति टाइम चाहिँ लाग्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई. But having said that, I think it's a fantastic concept, and I think it's a concept that gels well with the younger generation, Gen Z, because they don't want to work like a long time in one organization and all of that. So it kind of fits their mindset of easy money, and then they can have multiple jobs. I mean, the concept is here to stay for sure. तर नेपालमा त्यो एकदमै pervasive establish हुनलाई चाहिँ अलिकति टाइम चाहिँ लाग्छ कि जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई.
All right, okay. I think you explained it very briefly. Once it राम्ररी बुझे, I hope viewers also understood in the same way. Lastly, I think we are very at the end of this show. Lastly, you being in a corporate affair and communication मा पनि हुनुहुन्छ भने, so I want to ask, like, what sort of communication is required, for to build a strong relationship with the client, basically. Now people started, strategically communication has to be there भन्ने हुन्छ. तर finally हजुरले यदि recommend गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने अब viewers-लाई चाहिँ what sort of strategic communication has to be there in an organization for a strong relationship with with your client or customer? You can explain that. Choto.
So I think the key word here is relationship, managing relationship. And we may not be even start thinking about client relationship. We start about any relationships. How do you manage your relationships? Family, friends. जे कुराहरु त्यहाँ applicable हुन्छ. It's kind of an extension to that only. So you have to be trustworthy, you have to be transparent, you have to be consistent, right? Normal तपाईको relationships-हरुमा पनि those things are applicable, and it's no rocket science कि client relationship management पनि त्यही नै applicable हुन्छ. When you are communication को त obviously it's अब उसको importance is paramount. त्यो undermine त्यो explain नै गरेर हुँदैन, because everything starts, ends, continues with communication, right? अब मैले एउटा अर्गनाइजेसन खोलेर बसेपछि त्यहाँको कुराहरु चाहिँ मैले भन्नु पर्यो नि त, के छ कसो छ भनेर, इन्टर्नली पनि भन्नु पर्यो, बाहिर एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्डमा पनि भन्नु पर्यो, and everything happens through communication. Choosing the right channels, you use emails, you use billboards, you use I don't know, TV advertisements, हुन्छ नि. So everything again boils down to what you're communicating and how consistent you are. That's also one of the most important parts. So as एउटा कुरा भन्यो, you're saying something, भोलि गएर you start saying something very different, customers are confused हुन्छ के. अनि कन्सिस्टेन्ट कम्युनिकेसन भइसके पछाडि आज नसुन्ला भोलि नसुन्ला बट इफ युआर भेरी कन्सिस्टेन्ट इन वाट युआर सेइङ त्यो आई थिङ्क देयर इज अ रिसर्च विच सेज 7 पटकमा चाहिँ नि कस्टमर्स क्यान लाइक दे रियली हुन्छ नि 7 चोटि चाहिँ नि इफ दे हियर द सेम थिङ देन दे काइन्ड अफ देन रिकल स्टार्ट रिकलिङ सो त्यो कन्सिस्टेन्सी इज देयर अनि मैले एउटा कुरा त्यो फर्स्टमा भने जस्तो ट्रस्ट वर्दी र ट्रान्सपेरेन्ट चाहिँ हुनैपर्छ वेन युआर सेलिङ समथिङ त्यो ट्रान्सपेरेन्ट नभएर या हुन्छ नि ओभर सेल गऱ्यो भने एक दुईचोटि त बेच्ला देन वाट आफ्टर द्याट राइट so if you want to be a long term player in the market, if you're looking for a long term future for yourself your business whatever profession ma, then the consistency, the longevity, the trustworthiness, transparency, I think it's absolutely core to the entire thing. So communication like the explaining on something, as I said, it's like as a human being, it's so important to communicate, right? And the same thing applies to an organization to communicate with their clients.
Okay, thank you. I just added that point because I know your profile, so त्यो पार्टलाई पनि राख्दाखेरि चाहिँ it sounds because at the end without communication you don't have branding, marketing, it's a correlation part for all this aspect of work. All right, so we're at the end of this, so thank you so much for taking time for this interview and all. I think it's pleasure to hear from you, with your being a practitioner, being a professional, in the same verticals. So you have so many things to tell to the viewers, and I have so many things to learn from you as well. So next time, definitely we'll have a different topic we will discuss. And sure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So we are at the end of this episode. हजुरलाई हाम्रो प्रोग्राम कस्तो लाग्यो? आफ्नो सुझाव सल्लाह हामीलाई riseandshine@rollingplans.com.np मा इमेल गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. For more info, keep visiting www.rollingnexus.com for infinite opportunity and to build a network of new possibilities. It's time to rise and shine. तपाईको दिन शुभ रहोस्.